body training,
Start
voice
talking about
training.
this.
Our faces like are just Adonises now after all the like work in tanning
right.
salons. Went to the Mark Hamill School of Voice Training. Like, oh, this is great, Pat. His Joker work.
So much work came out of it, right?
Batman.
That was pretty good.
Adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming. It's a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives.
My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old. I have a teenager.
Yeah, sorry. This just in. Sorry, that is an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I messed that one up.
It's been
Folks,
so long. You're like, wait,
Yeah.
hold on.
Everybody, thank you for the messages and the tweets. We had taken a couple weeks off. There was a planned one and then a couple unplanned ones with just various unforeseen circumstances. I think it's just a summer thing, right, Jeff? Where
I think so.
the events just compound upon one another. The sun is shining, and next thing you know, it's 3 weeks and we haven't done a podcast.
That's right. You're just time is a blur. We don't have messages to each other. We're just, living our life.
Just like, but we know it's there. It's like,
We know.
You've podcasted this long enough. You don't need to talk to anybody. So, everybody, thank you so much for the messages here. We're back on the air. Excited to get back into it. We are steadily creeping up to 300 episodes.
Yeah. Big milestone.
Which, stay tuned. We're going to try to be doing some fun stuff in the near future. But excited to get into the show. Excited to chat with you, Jeff. See how fatherhood is treating with you. But great way to enjoy fatherhood is with a tall, cold one. As we try to wrap up, we do the sunsetting on our summer of beers. We roll into like the final couple weeks of it. This week, this is actually a gift from a fellow gaming dad.
Aww.
Now, it was my brother.
Okay.
So it still can't. But he's a listener of the show, so hats off to my brother Tim. Still counts though, so we'll count this as the first beer gift the show has received. And the reason he brought it is he lives in the town where we grew up in.
Okay.
The original town, like the tiny little town, like when we were there was like 1,000 people. I think they've expanded out to 2 or 3 at this stage. But they got a brewery. Like think back to your childhood and imagine if like in some close by where you live there was just a full out and out brewery that you could go into enjoy.
That would be dangerous.
Yeah.
If we're talking childhood home.
Like late teens, yeah, that would be kind of an issue.
Yeah, that's
And
right.
even worse is if the beer is like incredibly delicious.
Yep.
So this place is fantastic. I could not believe I kind of gave it. I was going to give it a pass no matter what because I was like, hey, my old hometown. Good for you guys. I'm glad you did it. And then I drank it. It's like, oh wow, this is actually good.
Okay. Good.
They actually did a great job. So this is Willibald Farm Distillery and Brewery. I think they actually started as a distillery, but while waiting for some of the casks to mature, they dipped into the beer space. You folks are probably not going to be able to get it. I believe it's in a few LCBOs, very select up in Canada. But if you happen to drop by Ayr, Ontario, anytime soon, check it out. If anything else, this is just a nod and a shout out to that nostalgia factor of like, man, the town I grew up in, that tiny little thing, expanded enough to get its own brewery, and the beer is actually good. So it was quite the trip.
It's like the memories keep flooding back, right? When you're drinking this thing, you and your brother on the phone to each other.
It's like, I can taste the fishing hole. This is great.
Oh, here come the tears.
I just start crying. Then I drink it. So Willibald Brewery, specifically I'm drinking today is the export lager, but they have 4 or 5 just delicious beers. So hey, cheers to them. So I had a great run, a bunch of really good feelings.
That's right.
In drinking my beer, and I come to understand that Jeff, you did not have such luck this week.
Okay, like this one this one was also a gift, but it was from a co-worker that her name is Julia. So she got me all these beers
Nice.
after her name and said, I was recovering from an operation, so she's like, here, I'm going to give you a bunch of beers that are named after me, and you can just take your pick, whatever. So this one is called The Julia. It's by Dandy Brewing, Dandy Brewing, Julia Peach Sour, and they come out of Alberta, Canada. I think it's actually Calgary. But this one tastes like a peach pie. Like, it's very sweet. It's very sour, and like it was fine to drink, but maybe I'm 41 and I'm old, but this thing gave me the worst heartburn. I was
Oh my goodness.
done the next day. Like, I drank this at night, like 9 o'clock or something. Maybe that was also a mistake. But the next day, all throughout the day, just like bad heartburn. I didn't get a good night's sleep. It was awful. But I'm sure it's not the beer's fault, but like it is intense. It's a lot of sour and a lot of citrus or something in there, and it did not agree with me at all. So
It's a lot. It's just there's so much cobbler.
Yeah.
You see, the real challenge with this
Right.
beer is the cobbler content.
too much in it. So
It's a different beer rating. So like the APV, I think, is the bitterness of it. So like the PCB is like the cobbler content.
yeah, exactly. Line
So
it
not
up.
too bad. So the beer tasted excellent. Just the after effects for an older man did not seem
That's
to.
right. I will get just a warning to all those older dads out there. You might be in for a surprise, or just get the Gaviscon ready. So
All right. So we'll transition from that. So as far as a warning, I almost want to say that it almost feels inevitable that ultimately when I'm talking with other gaming dads, the topic of Roblox comes up eventually.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, oh, what do you feel about Roblox? Or like my kid is like really addicted to it or really likes it. Like all of his friends are into it. It's been around for ages. This is not new. Definitely, right? It is uniform. It is on every single platform except the Switch.
Yep.
Literally everything except Switch. Mobile devices, phones, tablets, Xbox, PlayStation, computer. Not Nintendo Switch. And in some tiny way, that kind of tells you what you need to know about what Roblox is. So my kids they finally kind of got it. I think some of their friends were into it. They asked and put through. We saw some of the games they were wanting to play within it.
yeah.
Didn't mind it, like so be it. And even to this day, I look at the content of it. Yeah, like some of it's kind of garbage, but nothing in my view as damaging to them.
No, it kind of reminded me of like when you go to like play those Flash games, and like
Yes.
there'd be like a
Yes.
whole website of just random Flash games. Like that's initially kind of what it looked like, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then you get into the depths of it, and it can be more intense if you
Oh, it's just
seek it out.
So I don't know. I'd love to hear conversations from other gaming dads. Like, so do reach out to us, newdadgaming.com or at newdadgaming on Twitter. It's complex. Like how to kind of rank this thing is complex, because I'll say that it feels as though the quote unquote addictive part of gaming has certainly reared its head a lot harder since the introduction of Roblox. I think it kind of, with the kind of viral quick hit game loop nature of some of like the tiny things, like these guys, everyone who's producing these games, they want you in there playing constantly. So they're doing kind of like the worst of the worst of game loop, repetition, like reward everything to try to get you to stay in there. There's the kind of, call it the YouTube factor of jump scares, big hits. Everything's kind of fast. Everything's like, it almost feels kind of like custom built for younger kids to just stick with them, right?
Yeah.
So that, like, I've noticed in some ways that like it is much more grabbing of their attention. Like it's a little harder to get them off. They have a little more desire to go and play all the time. So that's certainly been a negative. It's just, honestly, man, I'm almost kind of lost. And again, that's where I kind of implore other gaming dads, like their opinions on it. Like I'm really curious how you've dealt with it, because it's not as though it's that bad. Some of the content is kind of like ingenious. It's creative. There's some really interesting, well put together games. The kids love it. It's free. Like we are. I have vehemently denied any purchasing of Robux
Yeah.
up to this point. And they seem to understand that as at least like the caveat. It's like, fine, you can play this. You're not putting money into this. But here we are, and I almost have like an uneasy feeling as a gaming dad. So like, you must have come across this before. I remember the famous incident where your kid was playing it in browser instead of going to school.
Oh yeah, yeah. It started way back when. Yeah.
Yeah. So where have you arrived with Roblox, given a bit more experience with it than I have?
So my 13-year-old has a lot more freedom with it, and it's mainly because he plays with his friends. So I hear him having a good time with his friends. He's actually playing the game that we're seeing on screen right now, which is pretty crazy. Like, it can get quite, again, in depth and complex and scary for some of these things. So 13-year-old doesn't really have much guardrails around it. We do say to both kids that no Robux. We're not buying Robux, but they have been getting it as gifts for birthdays. So like that is like, well, okay, like once it's in your account, like that's it, right? Like, don't ask for more, and you, like, whatever happens with it. I don't know what they buy with it, to be honest. It could be skins in a game or some other equipment. But my 10-year-old has more guardrails where I put down, they have some parental things still on where, you know, they're not talking to the community. There's the voice chats off, stuff like that. And I have eliminated games that I've seen my 13-year-old play.
Oh no, that's the one he wants, Jeff. Why would
That's
you do that?
exactly what they want, right? So it's just like one of those things where, okay, yeah, there's an age gap there. Like, because Roblox is like a platform where you can go into any kind of game and they don't really age restrict you at that point, right? You're just like let loose, and you can go down a rabbit hole pretty quickly, kind of much like YouTube, right? You click on one video, it leads to another. Anyway, it's all populated with those kind of games. So we've said to my 10-year-old, yeah, you can't play those games because of these reasons. They have had nightmares before, so like they understand. So again, those guardrails are around, but they still do play it. Not a lot anymore, more occasionally. But we did have quite a phase where it was just Roblox all the time. So you're in that phase now. Welcome.
Join us, one of us.
Yeah.
I wanted to talk about it, and again, I'm hoping to hear from some other fellow gaming dads, because it just feels any kid who's getting introduction to video games, especially if they have friends who play video games, like this is going to come up, like the Roblox allure.
Yeah,
you're going to get into it, and it's like how to address it. Like, some of it's just kind of frustrating. Like I'm just mad as a gamer when I'm looking at it, because one of the games they love playing is Hello Neighbor.
Right.
And I don't mean the official Hello Neighbor. What, like, somebody has not done an homage. Somebody has stolen Hello Neighbor and just put it into Roblox. And you're like, oh, that's cute. Like, it kind of looks like it. No. They have taken the images, like the textures from the game, and reproduced it. They've stolen the video cinematics of Hello Neighbor, and they have it inside of Roblox. It's a technical marvel. I'll give them that. Like, that's really the effort you've put into this IP theft is impressive. But there's just something sort of frustrating when I'm looking at it. Also, to the fact that, and then there is, they have a Minecraft game within it. They have a Pokemon game, just a full out Pokemon game. Yeah. And I come down the stairs, and my sons will say to me, like, "Oh, look at this! They have Pokemon inside of Roblox." I'm like, "Oh, cool! I bought you that game on Nintendo. You have the actual game.
This one, Dad.
That was your expensive birthday present. You have the Nintendo Switch cartridge upstairs. The game." Yeah. Like, what are you doing? This version of it sucks. It's not even that good. Look at that Pikachu. That Pikachu looks like garbage. It has half the content, but for some reason, that's such a pull. It's not just that it's Minecraft. It's like, oh, hooray, Minecraft in Roblox.
Yeah.
Like, come on.
I never thought of it just rubbing you the wrong way with, hey, there's that $90 game that we got you, right? Man. Sitting on the shelf, but you'd rather play it in a free-to-play, right? Where somebody has crafted basically the same world.
Stolen.
Stolen, yeah, let's be honest. Stolen. And then some of these games do sneak in weird, like, again, paywalls and stuff where you have to almost pay the Robux to go to the next thing or get the best weapon or whatever. So it's not even the good, it's not even the good thought out quality assurance kind of game that Nintendo had put out. You're like in here a free for all. Good luck, kids. I don't know.
Well, it's like it's all the gotcha games, like this the classic mobile style of payments where it's like, okay, well you can click this button 50 times, or if you pay me $1, you only have to click it once.
Yeah.
So a lot of the transactions I've seen are just an attempt to extract. It's one of the most predatory versions of video games that are really upsetting. It's like where developers purposely put in known ugly, boring gameplay to extract people. It's like, hey, look, here's a worse version of the game, but if you pay me a little money constantly, I'll get rid of the worst version of the game.
So, a side note. Speaking of money, one of my 13-year-old's friends has created. I guess that comes with Roblox Studio, which is how you build parts of the game or things for another game. And they have built like amenities for another game that they don't produce and sell them, and has made $500 over the course of 3-4 years, which isn't bad, right? This is a kid. This is a 13-year-old now. And they create this stuff. I'm like, see, now it's neat, like you being paid for your work, whether or not, I don't know if they're ripping off. Maybe they're doing the Pokemon and they're just doing it so well that this other person is paying for it. But like, at least then it's, I don't know, a creative outlet in some way where you're constructing something and people want it and you sell, your time, right? Like that I can see. Again, it has a weird essence of, what are you doing it for and where is it going? That kind of sucks. But at least, I don't know, it's teaching you some skill that you can, benefit from versus going into madness.
So I'm glad you brought that up. I saw that as the potential. They play it. All their friends play it. All their cousins play it. We have this photo, and it's like this 6-cousin Roblox bonanza, and they're having the time of their lives. So it's just like, great. Okay, like if you guys are doing it, then like you're doing it. Wonderful. So be it. So I can't necessarily knock it. A lot of the games I don't necessarily like the quality, but people seem to have put some decent effort into it. There's some creativity. Some of the better ones, like it's impressive. The one we're watching, I think it's called Doors.
Yep.
That looks like a full Steam release game. Honestly,
it does.
Like they've really credit where credit's due. For sure. There was the side of it though. It's like, wouldn't it be trying to lay those seeds? It's like, wouldn't it be cool if you made your own game? Like you could make this. Like you could do this. Like this is very possible. There's like camps I could send you to teach you how to like build this. So I certainly love that angle of it. Like that would be at very least, it's a bit of a savior for like what this is and a real potential learning opportunity. And then too, like A, just cool game development, building, creative outlet, but B, like business, like find games, find what people actually want to play and do, and build something that would work like that, right?
Exactly, yeah. Or build one of my old games so I can have a nostalgic factor, right? I mean, come on, kids, get on that.
Just rebuild Ocarina of Time. Let's go. Yeah. Roblox really get Nintendo upset, so they'll come and shut down this whole damn enterprise.
Yeah, exactly. It'd be quick.
Oh, well, if they're not doing it for Pokemon, they're not doing it for anything. So
it's weird.
Anyways, hey, as I said, Gaming Dads, if you have your own stories or thoughts on Roblox, I'd love to read some other opinions. It is something a bit new to my household. I'm kind of curious where we're going to end up with it. So, newdadgaming.com or at New Dad Gaming. So on to enough about my kids gaming, Jeff.
Did you do gaming?
What about
gaming dad?
I did some gaming. Darn it!
Oh, okay.
So I beat Diablo 4.
Yeah,
we did it.
We did it.
And look, I know Activision Blizzard gets a lot of flack. Everything else, the game was legitimately wonderful. Like it is a fantastic game. You know what I mean? Like, so, and I don't want to. That doesn't just give my endorsement to every action that they do necessarily, but end of the day, get in, buy this game, play this game, just great. It was so much fun. When it goes on sale and you get it, Jeff, like I think you're gonna like it very much.
You'll be level like 100, and I'll be like, okay, Trevor, I'm on level 1. Help me out.
there's the interesting part. So not necessarily. So the way that they roll, and what I'm trying to do, as I mentioned in the previous podcast, I was very interested in this game of trying end game content. I've never understood it. Usually, when in my kind of upbringing, it was buy game, play game, beat game, sell
Done.
game, like just
Cell
like,
game, yeah.
You know what I mean? But there was an entire world now, Destiny, Diablo, any of those kind of larger games that once you beat it, you go back in for end game content, the stuff that's at the end of it, the interesting stuff. Didn't understand it, no clue. So what is it like? And that's what I wanted to find out. So this, I don't want to say like vowed. I don't want to make it too romantic of notion, but I want to try to experience end game content. So you said level 100, not so, because I'm participating in season 1. So
Okay.
you play the game for the first time, you beat it. Congratulations, this is great. You can start a new character. It has to be brand new from level 0. And then you can participate in a season. A season runs for a set period of time. Current one started, I think, 2 weeks ago. It'll run until sometime October. So you have a couple months. And then at which point another season will start up. And it's got a different theme. I think there'll be some new story elements, like new drops, like season specific drops and challenges. Great. So the idea is to like get you start over every season and play a new series of challenges a new bunch of ways. So I'm trying to find enough time to level my character enough to participate in this stuff. And it's really, really hard as a dad. Like, I do not have a lot of time. Summer's been especially and wonderfully busy. But like my character's like level 20. I mentioned that I have a couple really good buddies. They play this game. They're level like 70. And they've said, it's like, hey, if you get your levels up a little more, we could like do some end bosses together. We could do some nightmare dungeons. We can go. So there's this far out goal. It's like, okay, if I could just level myself enough, I can like play some of the harder stuff of the game, experience end game content with my good friend. So what I need, Jeff, is a training montage.
You do.
Where it's just nothing but inspiration on the background as I sit there and just sweat. My wife brings me like a beer and like a sandwich as I'm sitting there just like slamming on the keyboard trying to get my character
Eye of the
up.
Tiger going off. Yeah, for sure. See, now this is interesting because like I would have thought that this is probably the worst case scenario for a gaming dad to have a timed gameplay series.
Oh, it is. Oh, it certainly is, sir. I'm not defending it.
Yeah, no, but like it kind of, the positive way is like it will force you to play it when you have the time, because I think a lot of the times when I'm on the Steam Deck or on the PS5 or whatever, I will have like, what is it, like analysis paralysis, like, or like there's too many choices, I will end up choosing none of them and I'll watch a movie, right? At least this one would be like, well, I'm paying for it, I should jump in, right? Like at least then, I don't know, because I felt that with like if I did Final Fantasy 14 and subscribed to the actual content that they give you, I'd have to play it. Like that would be the first choice. Like, I'm paying for this, I might as well play it, or not. And then you're like, well, I'm burning money.
I think one of the things that irks me. So again, like I want to experience Endgame, and especially since I have friends who are right there, and they've been wonderful. Like I've showed up some time and played with them, and they said, okay, let's just do some runs, and they come back with me and do things that they've done before, just to help speed run so I can get some extra experience. You get extra experience if you're with people, by the way, too, which is kind of interesting. So they truly have been wonderful. And given that that's the case, I would like to try to experience in-game content. The problem that I am having is that like gaming and gaming time is so precious to me. There's so little of it. And I see some like big launches on the horizon, like Starfield's coming soon.
Yeah.
I get it for free because I have Game Pass. And it is so very much my jam.
It is.
Like, so it's a big Bethesda. Like it's starred, oh my goodness, Skyrim in space. I like Skyrim and I really love space.
It's
So
like your No Man's Sky to like the nth degree.
I
right?
love No
like,
Man's Sky. It's just, it's everything. So
yeah.
So now my concern is like, all right, so I already have so precious little time with my current, state of dad, that I could pour everything into Diablo 4, but then I'm going to come up against these other releases.
Right.
And do I take a break? Do I just maybe not do season 2 and I'll jump back season 3? Like I'm really at a loss as to how I'm supposed to balance this.
Yeah, you're gonna have to let us know, because I don't know if you can you save a season? Like, do you pay for it and then you're like, I'll activate it now, and it just activates the season, or does it's specific to
Seasons are free. So there's no.
Oh, okay.
If you own the game, it's just the content that they release, and you can participate. So there's no paying for this. You only pay for Battle Pass, a la Fortnite, where as you level up, you can get special extra. I think you level up faster, and you get special gifts as you level up. So, but as far as like if you own the game, you can participate in seasons free.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes it a little better. I mean, there's still the time element, but like. You're not, I don't know, at the constraints of, buying something and then not playing it. Like the original problem with Diablo 4, and you're like, I don't know if I'm going to play it. But, it's good to have your gaming friends there. And
yeah. So I'll keep you, it's a journey I'm going on. Hey, and I'll put another pitch out to gaming dads. If you want to hop on for some sessions so we can quickly level each other up, reach out to me at New Dad Gaming or newdadgaming.com. So that's what I was playing. It's a bit of a time sink, and a delicious old school time sink, which you got into, Age of Empires 2, but with your kids.
Yeah, all the way back to the Stone Age, Trevor.
Well, not if you're good enough, no.
No. But this is one that I coaxed my kids into playing. I planted the seed a while ago. I'm like, hey, why don't we play like a strategy game, right? Mm-hmm. And I think they got really interested when they got their laptops, because then they can play on their own space. And then I've got the Steam Deck where I loaded this thing on, works wonderfully. And we played 3-player against computers, and it was awesome. We had voice chat going. Everybody was in their own separate rooms, which was weird. But like, we were still gaming as a family.
Wait. Seriously, that's so lame, man.
That's just they were in their bedrooms and I was down on the couch, and that was it. That was just how we rolled.
Did you do voice chat?
We did voice chat. We had voice chat going. I was hearing my kids, so it was mainly like, "Hey, Dad, give me 500 gold because I don't have any more gold left." But it was a cool experience. They were really into it. I don't know what it is with kids. Maybe I was like this. Maybe you were. I'm not sure. But they picked this game up no problem. Like, I thought it would be an issue because they didn't go through the tutorial at all. They just kind of like jumped in.
That's surprising. That's a really beefy game.
Yeah, and like, but once they figured out the pattern, like, oh, I need, it tells you what you need, right? So I need food. I need stone. I need gold. Whatever. And they just, I need to go mine that. I need to cut down more trees. I need to do this. I need more houses because I need more villagers. And they just done. And they were up building their armies while I'm getting killed by the computer because it's going after me. But it was a great experience. They had, there was no, friction or anything. I guess part of that was because we were all on a team together, right? So that diplomacy through the family as well as in-game is very easy when you're all on the same team. But it gave us a challenge at some times. We turned up the difficulty. We tried new maps. I said there was a map editor, so they kind of got excited about that. Like, maybe they can make their own maps and we can play them and take turns that way. So it was a cool experience. And I will say a +1 again for the Steam Deck. I managed to do it on there, and it worked well enough. Like, again, you're not going to do fast hotkeying anything. But I was keeping pace with my kids, and that's all that matters.
See, man, this Steam Deck has really continued to pay dividends, huh? Like, I don't know that there's been an episode since you got it that wasn't, and it worked great on the Steam Deck, and it was a great showcase of the Steam Deck, and I got to play it on the bed, in the Steam Deck. So
yeah,
it seems like it's really working out for you.
Sorry to be so repetitive. I'm not paid by Valve. I wish I was, but it is the hardware I prefer now, and I will play these games on it. I have no other option, really. A lot of these things I would have to boot up on my Mac. I don't have a PC at home, so my Steam Deck is the PC that allows me to play these kind of games with my kids, so it's good that way.
Yeah, no, I wasn't bringing it up as to be a shell, and I wasn't calling you out for repetitiveness. I think it's good, though, because part of it is, again, as a gaming dad, it's like you have limited resources to pour into gaming. The Steam Deck is not a frivolous, cheap it's not crazy expensive, but you have to like, budget that in. You got to be prepared for it.
Yep.
So here it is, the real time review. Because I'll admit this openly. Like the PSVR was not a good use of funds.
I agree.
I'm glad I got it. I don't regret the purchase. I'll put it that way.
No, not at all.
I was so excited for VR, and the time that I had with it was phenomenal. I was so blown away and excited. It provided me with a lot of value. But in the grand scheme of things, that particular device, just not right. Too complicated, too bulky, not enough like game support, right?
Yeah.
So we can admit that now as part of these like gaming, and also just like it was kind of the weird like, I gotta have all that set up, and I got all these little kids running around. It's a nightmare. Terrible idea.
Yeah, the anxiety level kind of rises when you're like, oh, don't trip over the cord.
But as gaming dads, we can kind of admit that. However, what it seems to be is that the Steam Deck is a device that very much fits into a gaming dad life, where your kids have the TVs, or you need to not be on the TV because you can't make a lot of noise gaming because they're sleeping, or you don't want them to know. So in fact, it's a device that supports dad gaming. So that's why I was bringing it up. I wasn't trying to throw shade at you. I think it's more excitement. It's like, that's so cool that this thing has worked out so well.
Yeah, and again, like just a quick aside, like I beat Final Fantasy 16 on the Steam Deck because I streamed.
That's cool.
I streamed the PS5 to it with no lag. Like there's zero input lag with it, and it's just like it's the device that fits my style. Like you said, as a gaming dad right now. Before I was about big screen, boombastic soundbar, like let's like feel the game of God of War. I want to be Kratos. Whereas now I'm like, no, I just need the time to beat the game and experience the game, and the Steam Deck does that. So like it gives me that tool to help with that.
Perfect.
Diablo 4 maybe. Who knows? We'll see.
God, does it? Okay. Sorry, I don't think we've done a Google section for quite a while. Let's get this going on.
What are you Googling?
Diablo 4 on a Steam Deck.
Oh yeah, it works perfectly.
Oh,
I've checked it out. Yeah.
Wait, did you do the demo?
Not on the Steam Deck. Maybe it's over now, right?
Yeah, I don't think you can. I don't think it has a demo
I
anymore.
wonder if I could somehow try it.
So
but it is...
first result. Yes, Diablo 4 is Steam Deck compatible, but you can't currently download the RPG from Valve's storefront. In a shock move, Blizzard announced that Overwatch 2 is coming to Steam, and more of its games are set to fall. That's a weird.
Yeah, that is a no. You just have to load up Battle. Is it Battle.net still?
Yeah.
Which I have done
Okay.
because I was playing StarCraft on it. So it would just actually I have Diablo 3 in there. I should check that.
That would
Anyway, I could be Diablo 3 on the Steam
There you
Deck.
go.
There you go.
That would be pretty cool. Diablo 4 Steam Deck.
But I've seen it work well on the Diablo 4 on the Steam Deck with good settings. Like it looks good.
Okay, guys talking, logging in. Best part is I think. Yeah, so someone's just like touching and tapping, doing some settings. Now we're watching this guy's face play it, which is useless to me. But I'll say what I'm kind of curious. Like, so what I have found that I've been using. I play on PC, but I have been using the joystick or my controller.
Oh, okay.
I just find it a bit more fun to kind of lay back and play it instead. So that would, given how good the controller support is, I imagine the Steam Deck would be just.
Well, again, it's all the Steam control too, so you can customize everything in it. So usually those touchpads are like circle radio menus that can do like scripts, right? So they can select a certain magic spell or whatever,
Right.
and people put their controls out, and you just download them. It's done. Anyway, that might be my next report. Who knows? I don't know. We sell each other on stuff.
For the sake of the podcast, what you really need is some Diablo 4. You got to report back to us.
That's right.
For the
And game
good of
content, right? I'll see you in season 2, Trevor.
Or I got to buy a Steam Deck. One of these.
Or that. They are on sale.
Not down to $80. I think of the two sins, I think you buying Diablo 4 is the better one. We'll see where we get. Unless Battle.net's listening. Hey guys, hit us up.
That's right.
We're big with Nintendo. It's time to be good
That's
with
right.
Battle.net.
Let's get them all in. Yeah.
All right, everybody. That'll do it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. Again, thank you so much for the notes and the comments as we were gone. Just a bit of a summer break, but we're wrapping up a couple things. I'm telling you, we have episode 300, which is we started, unless I'm messing my time, we started before or shortly after my first son's birth.
I think so. Yeah. I
Which-
think you were shortly after. So again.
Yeah, I think it was like 3 months. So basically, we'll call him 0. And
Yeah. Yeah.
he now turned 8. So that means we have been talking for 8 years.
8 years we've seen ourselves age and grow together.
So and if anyone's good at math, you'll notice that 300 isn't quite means that we certainly had some gaps within there, but that is the dad lifestyle. So as we approach 300, so hey, as we weren't here around the last couple of weeks, thank you so much for the comments and the support up to this. We're going to try to do a couple interesting and fun things for episode 300. Stay tuned. And as always, we just cannot thank you enough for listening to her. If you did like the podcast, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. You can find us on Google Play, iTunes, Spotify, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcast. Just search for New Dad Gaming. And if we can ask for a favor, a subscription helps a lot. If enough people subscribe, it kind of boosts the signal, especially with leaving a rating. If you can go into any of those services and leave a rating, it really helps boost the signal to all the other gaming dads. If we're going to start a Diablo 4 quorum of dads, to go through the wastelands and all like level each other up because we don't have enough time for that, that would be wonderful to do. So if you would, Jeff and I would really appreciate it. It'd be wonderful. Everybody, thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. Until next week, my name is Trevor, and I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 13-year-old and a 10-year-old.
And just remember, just because you became a dad
Does not mean the season's ending.
it does not mean you have enough time to efficiently do a season.
That's right.
All right. See you next week.
See you later.